Okay, so what kind of situation do we have at the moment on CAD CHF? Let's make a multi-time frame analysis and start from the monthly time frame. Now on CAD CHF on the monthly, we have a market that has created this very strong impulse to the downside, followed by this retracement. Now, if you want to measure this retracement, what are you supposed to be doing? Taking your Fibonacci on the impulse. And if you take your Fibonacci on the impulse, what you can see? We can see that buyers are fighting to close above the 0.382 from a monthly closing perspective, and sellers are fighting to close below the 0.382. So buyers fighting to close above, sellers to close below. We will see what the close of this monthly candle will look when obviously the month will end. From a pattern perspective, what do you expect? Impulse correction and continuation to the downside, right? But at the same time, this level has been acting as a very strong demand area for CAD CHF, and we might see a deeper retracement. We go down on the weekly. What kind of situation we get on the weekly? On the weekly, we get exactly what we have on the monthly. The impulse to the downside, we get this retracement. If we want to measure precisely this weekly retracement, we have to take the Fibonacci from the high to the low of the weekly impulse, and we can see that at the moment the market is rejecting the 50% from a weekly point of view. And at the same time, we also realize that if the market will close with the last candle, with this weekly candle here, we can expect the next one to fill in the wick. This is a pattern that I spoke about many times. And then, as you know, the market continues to complete on all time frames. So if the market will close with this shape, with this last weekly candle, we can expect a deeper retracement. We go down on the daily time frame, and on the daily time frame, what we can see that from a daily time frame perspective, we have previous resistance here, which is now turned support. The market created a nice impulse, nice correction to the previous resistance, now turned support, and we can expect continuation to the upside. What we also realize is that if we take our Fibonacci from the low to the high of the impulse, we have a market that retraced right now to the 50% a Fibonacci retracement, which is creating a nice confluence area with the previous resistance, now turned support. So from a daily point of view, everything is indicating for possible continuation to the upside. If on the weekly we will get the close that we just spoke about, we can definitely expect continuation to the upside, even though from a pattern perspective, we actually want to see the market make a move lower. But how will we know if the market wants to give us a deeper retracement or immediately start the move to the downside? Very simple. This is the decision area for a CAD CHF, and I will now show you how to approach this kind of situation. If we go and see what is the situation from a COT perspective, so commitment of traders, what hedge funds are doing at the moment in the market. Let's go and see what we have from a CAD point of view. Now on the CAD, what we can clearly see is that at the moment hedge funds have continued to add a lot of short positions, with the last report another 8.9k shorts. And as you can see, this is clearly reflected in the net positions that went from 35k to minus 35k. So basically from having longs greatly outweighing shorts to having shorts greatly outweighing longs, with 23k shorts at the with 23k longs at the moment and 58k shorts. So as you can see, shorts outweighing the longs with a 44.7% short exposure. So the CAD is definitely weak. And if we go and see what we have from a CHF perspective, what we can see is that overall net positions actually increased a lot. So strong CHF, weak CAD. What does it mean? CAD CHF is supposed to be making a move to the downside in the long term. So if we go back to the chart, how we will be approaching this kind of situation. There is still the possibility to see a deeper retracement if hedge funds have not loaded up all their shorts and longs respectively. So how we will be approaching this. Now, from a 4-hour perspective, at the moment, price action is absolutely bearish. So we can't be looking for any longs, but at the same time, we can't be looking for any shorts because the market is still above daily support. So this will be the decision area. And the way in which we will be approaching this is very simple. Until the market will be above this zone, if the market will provide to us one of our valid entries from a 4-hour perspective to the long side, Then with students, we will be taking this long because it has good probabilities and good risk to reward for the move to the upside, because we can still definitely get a deeper retracement. But we need first to see the market make a shift from a bearish market as it is right now to a bullish market. And then we can start to look for one of our valid entries if the market will provide it to us. On the other side, if everything will remain like this, then the market will easily break below this zone. If the market will break below this zone, then on the retest of the area, what we will be doing with students, we will be monitoring price action from a 4-hour perspective inside of this area. And as soon as the market will provide to us one of our valid entries, we will be taking a nice short in agreement with what we have from a COT perspective, with a very good risk to reward and probabilities for the move to the downside. Because this support will be turn resistance, we have the possibility to complete this impulse correction and impulse pattern to the downside, and we will have also this head and shoulders, as well as having the impulse correction and impulse pattern from a weekly and monthly point of view. So as usual, being reactive and not predictive. Now, if you enjoyed this free analysis and education, make sure you drop a like and a comment. It really does support the creation of more free education and analysis for all of you, and I will see you in the next video.